Hi, have you been in your step family a while now and you are wanting to assert yourself and get things done more the way you want them done? Subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell and I'll let you know every time I post. When we start out in a step family, we can often want to be very obliging and pleasing and get on with people. But there comes a time when we actually want to assert ourselves and think that certain things should stop and certain new things should begin, and that the family should take more notice of the new family arrangement, which is now you as a step parent inside the family, and you're not just a doormat. It's important this because as a step parent in your own home, you can't just sort of carry on living your life just to please other people. And so there comes this point where you want to make your own way with your partner about the way the family is going to be in the future. But the question then is, how can you be assertive? How can you tell people what you want? How can you change things when they're used to doing them a particular way? They assume that you're okay if this continues. But actually, you want to make changes. Now, there's a big difference between step families and traditional families in this area, because in a traditional style family, where the two adults in the family are the parents, then ultimately what the parent says goes, and the child themselves doesn't really have enough power to go against what the two adults are saying. But in a step family, often the child has been used to something happening a different way, but also they've got quite often another family that they live with, their other parent, who may disapprove of the changes you, the parent, want to make, and influence their child to be more difficult about it, or challenge you on it, or say they won't do it, or say they won't do it because you're not their parent. So there's a risk area here which you need to overcome. But also there is a real dilemma here. You are not the child's parent, so you don't have as much authority as their parents. And if you start saying things are going to be done a particular way, they may not take your word for it. So how do you assert yourself? Well, the best thing is to not do it at the time when things are going wrong or when what you are wanting to change is happening. Best to let it all happen and regroup and think about how you're going to change something, not at the time it's going on. This is because it's best to work with positive parenting and praise as a step parent, and not with criticism. So if you see something that's going on that you don't want, or you want to change it, if you're going to change it at the time, you're going to have to say, no, don't do that. I don't want it like that. We're going to do it like this from now on. You might get away with that, but it's kind of like you've done it wrong and I want it done this way. The better way is to work in anticipation. So you set things up for the way you want them to work in the future. And that way, the child can please you. So if something's going on that you don't want, let's take something really simple like coming into the house, where the coats go, where the bags go, where the shoes go. If you want to change what's happening at the moment, better to think about what it is you want to happen in a positive way, not what you don't want to happen, like I don't want them to leave their shoes all over the place. What do you want them to do with their shoes? Do you want them to put them on a shoe rack? Do you want them to take them off and leave them outside? What do you want? And sort out the positives, not the negatives. And then have a chat with your partner about it. Say, there's chaos going on when the children arrive in the house. Can we sort this out? Would you be okay if we put the shoe rack here so that they can put their shoes on it, etc. Things like that. Now, if you don't get your partner's approval and they say, oh no, that's too much and I don't want to challenge them about anything, then you do have a problem. But your problem is then with your partner, not with what's going on in the front hall when the children arrive in. It's disagreement between you and them about how to run your house. And that's a different topic. But provided you can get a sort of nudge of approval from your partner, then it's more or less okay to go ahead and plan what it is exactly you want from all the children, your children, the stepchildren, and taking into account their different ages. So you might require something different from a 2-year-old to a 12-year-old. Then set up a time to set this new regime in place. Best done when everybody is there, everybody who belongs to the household, maybe before a meal or after one, at a meeting or at some time before a treat that you're all planning to go out, or some time that's convenient for you to sit down with the children and set this up so they know fully what's expected of them in advance. Make sure they're totally clear and make sure there is as little misunderstanding as possible. Possibly take them to the front hall, show them what needs to happen, bring them back, ask questions, do whatever you need to do to make sure that things are set up so that they can do what you want well. Then notice when they do it right. Not always when they do it wrong. It's more important you notice when they do it right. If one of them does it right, really praise that one person. Say, that's exactly what I meant. Fantastic. Really good. And encourage them to do it the correct way. That way you can praise and you can congratulate them and things can be pleasant and they can feel as though they're pleasing you and you can reward them, and everything has a much more positive twist to it than if you say, no, I don't want it like this, and no, I don't want it like that. Instead, set it up so you can go, yup, that's absolutely what I meant, thanks so much, that's great, everything looks so much better now, look at how much more space there is in the hall, now we've managed to find a way of clearing things up. Just really work on positive parenting and praise. That's the way a step-parent gains a good relationship and respect and begins to grow trust between you. It enhances the relationship, and that's really important and what you want. We run workshops, sessions, an email response service, and we write booklets. You can find links to our social media and website in the description box below.